how does shark fin soup affect the population, affect the actions of bears in Alaska?
I love that question. I actually did a little research and I came across a statement that I made in one of my documentaries, and I've gotten a lot of heat from it, but I'm right. For the first time in a long time, about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, in Sitka, Alaska, they had Humboldt squid, and they were eating salmon that were waiting to go upriver, and the situation was incredible. The fishermen were pointing out that they started catching Humboldt squid, and they'd never seen this before, but they know what a squid is. These are smart fishermen, and they're waiting for the salmon. The salmon were acclimating to go upriver, so they were in the brackish water, going through that acclimation process before they swim upriver. And they're all congregated, and the Humboldt squid populations found them and wiped them out in a day.
And
And
the
up
Humboldt squid
here,
are there
because of the population explosion, they started pushing further and further up north to find food. And what they found were these vulnerable populations of salmon. And up the river, when they actually spawn and then they start doing the fishery to catch them back out, the fishery stocks were incredibly low that year. And it's largely because the assassins from nowhere showed up, the Humboldt squid, and wiped out huge swaths of salmon.
and then this affects the bears, the bear behavior
Yeah.
in what way?
Well, if you don't have a lot of salmons going upstream, when this happens pretty much when a lot of the bears are preparing to go back into hibernation, and the animals, the skin of the salmon is pretty high in fat and oils, and so the bears really like to eat that, as well as the meat, and the eggs. But the bears of these areas that the Humboldt squid wiped out the salmon found themselves all of a sudden there's not a whole lot of food there. And so they had more human interactions with bears because the
Hmm.
bears didn't find the salmon. So they started going in dumpsters looking for food and foraging for food. So they're in preparation for hibernation. So they're really, really trying to gather this up. And more and more bears were killed um, because of this. They had a few problem bears. I mean, not a whole lot of bears. I'm not saying hundreds, but I'm saying there were several bears that were killed higher than normal, and it's
Hmm.
because of this. So it's a link to the Chinese eating the shark fin soup, degrading the population of these sharks. Population explosion of the Humboldt squid occurred at that point in time where they went up to Sitka, Alaska, all the way down to Anchorage, and they wiped out large swaths of salmon. And then the bears were going a little bit hungry, and there were more interactions with people because of that. So the world is connected in ways we find amazing all the time.
It's the ripple effect. One thing affects the other, affects the next, and it's a cascading effect
It's
in our
absolutely
lives.
amazing, isn't it?
And
Yeah,
so somebody that gets attacked by the bear is because a Chinese person unknowingly that this is going to take place is eating shark fin soup. And
yeah,
that's directly correlated to an imbalance in terms of the bear energy and stability, and then they go after easy prey.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's amazing.
there's just the reality of where is life energy, living, and where is it harvested. And if you have a large population of sharks, which are of course the gatekeepers of the seas, the master predator for the most part, with exceptions, of course. I'm a fan of sperm whales, which they eat giant squid too. So we'll go about that another day. But if you remove those sharks, and then all of a sudden you have another population explosion. In this case, it was Dosidicus gigas, and then they're foraging and they're going further north than people have seen before, and they're ravaging what they can find, species they've never encountered before, because
Uh-huh.
this is a problem-solving intelligent squid. They learned how to eat a new prey item all the time because they can figure stuff out. And here they are eating salmon, which they've never encountered before, and they wipe out in populations. And then the bears go hungry, and they're out there foraging in people's backyards. So it is incredible how all that tied together. And it hasn't happened a lot since, and I forgot the year that this happened. It was about 15 years ago, but it was extraordinary, and I'm sure it's going to happen again if it hasn't already.